Hey y'all, it's Amanda. Welcome back. Today I want to slow down a little bit. The DLC is coming out next week. I want to talk about the returning Pokemon from the DLC, the Teal Mask that comes out next week. These will be all the new Pokemon that are allowed in Regulation E, which starts on October 1st. Now, of course, there are some new Pokemon in the DLC. These guys, and I don't know how to say any of their names. I'm not even gonna try to, but we got these guys, we've got Dipplin, and we know actually something about Dipplin. We don't know much about these guys. We don't really know anything about them other than what they look like. I assume none of these Pokemon are gonna be restricted, so they should be allowed in the Regulation E format. But Dipplin we know a little bit about. I suspect it will not be any better than what fucking Appleton or Flapple are. Like, maybe there's a very tiny niche that it could find, but I don't foresee it being particularly good. Although its ability is supposed to reduce evasion of opposing Pokemon. So that means that maybe some fast sleep powder strats with like Lilligant and Torkoal and Sun could maybe work a little bit better because you can make sleep powder a little more accurate, but that's probably the extent I can see of Dipplin's niche in the format. But if we talk about the returning Pokemon, this is where we can really chat because we know about these returning Pokemon. So obviously, of course, this is the list of all the returning Pokemon that are going to be allowed in Regulation E. Some of them are better than others, of course. So Arbok, not good at all. Like, nobody's gonna use Arbok, let's be real. Now, Clefairy had quite a lot of usage in Gen 8 in particular. You know, it has the ability Friend Guard, just like Mousehold, so it will reduce the damage to its partner, and just like Mousehold, it also has Follow Me. The thing about Clefairy is that it basically doesn't have an item slot because you have to run Eviolite on it, but it's bulkier than Mousehold. So, you know, they both do, in my opinion, they both do different things and have different utility. Mousehold is a little bit more frail. It is not as bulky as Clefairy, but it also can do a lot more damage. You know, you can run Population Bomb or Super Fang on Mousehold to really do damage to the opposing side of the field and not just be like a utility support mon, whereas Clefairy, you know, sticks around a lot longer, stays on the field a lot longer, can do many more like helping hands, and just have more turns of Friend Guard up. Now, keep in mind that we don't actually know their moveset yet, but Clefairy does get Life Dew, so not only can Clefairy reduce its partner Pokemon's damage, but it can also heal it back up in a way that Mousehold can't. So I think they both will have a niche in Regulation E, and it really just depends on what you want your Follow Me Friend Guard mon to do. Then we have Ninetales and Alolan Ninetales. Now, I don't think regular Ninetales will have much use. When Ninetales and Torkoal were both allowed in the same formats, Torkoal dominated as like the drought user. Maybe regular Ninetales could find a small niche, but I think overwhelmingly when people are going for a drought sun team, they're gonna go for Torkoal over Ninetales. But Alolan Ninetales. Now, again, this is in Gen 8. We don't know exactly what the move pools will look like for Gen 9 yet, but in Gen 8, you know, Alolan Ninetales is a fantastic Pokemon. It sets up its own sun with Snow Warning, and it's very fast. So if you look at it, look, it's base 109 speed. Now its attack and special attack, not that much. Its bulk is decent, but not like fabulous. But with the new Covert Cloak, which we have access to now, not only do we not have to worry about Fake Out with Alolan Ninetales, but we could also Terra Ghost if we really didn't want to worry about Fake Out and use a different item on Alolan Ninetales, but it can set up its own sun. But it can set up its own snow. Then we have access to the defense boosting capabilities. So its defense is no longer 75, but 150 with this level of bulk and HP. Like, it's nothing to sneeze at. It's not like fantastic, but it's not like Glass Cannon either. So it sets up its own snow, and then it can either do like a faster Aurora Veil, or you could even run like a Specs Blizzard and just like start spamming Blizzard. I think that Alolan Ninetales might actually make Snow a little bit more viable than it's been in the past. Like, yes, we've seen Snow in some official tournaments, but Abomasnow is just frankly not a very good Pokemon. And I think Alolan Ninetales might make Snow a little bit more popular than it has been before. Next up, Polyrh. If you're gonna use a water fighting type, just use Urshifu. We've seen this with Quaquaval. Quaquaval had some usage before the home mons came, and after the home mons, it's got like basically no usage. Like if you're gonna use a water fighting type, use Urshifu. There's no reason to use any of the others. Blossom, same thing, like just use Lilligant. If you want like a chlorophyll grass type mon, just use Lilligant. It's faster, it's got a better move pool. Don't use Blossom. Snorlax, obviously we're probably gonna see some usage from Snorlax. It's a very good Pokemon, but I do think as like a Trick Room sweeper, it's definitely outclassed by Ursaluna. So I think we may see less Snorlax in Generation 9 than we did in Generation 8 when it was legal, right? And it does not have access to its G-Max like berry healing move or whatever it was. Without access to that extra bulk from G-Max, the G-Max move itself, I really just don't think Snorlax is gonna be able to compete with Ursaluna, especially because Ursaluna has that fantastic stab Earthquake, whereas Snorlax's Earthquake would require committing a Terra to be stab or just not be stab at all. So if you're gonna look at like a normal type Trick Room sweeper, I think Ursaluna is gonna be more popular than Snorlax, although Snorlax will probably see some usage. Sentret, no, don't use it. It's fucking Sentret. What does Sentret do? Furret. Furret is the evolved one. Its abilities are trash. Its stats are garbo. Don't use Furret. Nobody's using Furret. There's no reason why you should use Furret. Let's see. Noctowl, same thing. Like, if you want like a bulky, normal flying type, Braviary. You don't need Noctowl. Ambi Palm, what does Ambi Palm do? Well, it has Technician and Skill Link. Both of those are good abilities. What are its stats? 115 base speed, 100 base attack. This could be like a Focus Sash mon. It gets Fake Out. Does it have anything that it can use for like Skill Link? Technician only goes up to 60 base power, right? Technician Thief? Technician Aerialaze? I don't know. It has good abilities, but I just don't think it has the move pool to capitalize on them. Like, it doesn't really have anything it can take advantage of for Technician or Skill Link. Like, none of its moves like hit more than once. And none of its moves are like 60 base power or less. Rock Smash, that's like it. So yeah, unless they change Ambi Palm's move pool significantly, no one's gonna use it because while it has good moves or good abilities, it doesn't have the moves to capitalize on them. It can't really use these abilities, which makes it a useless Pokemon. Yanmega. Okay, what does Yanmega do? See, these are mons that I've never played with before because they weren't around. Okay, well apparently Yanmega was around in Sword and Shield. Speed Boost is not a bad ability, right? We're seeing Speed Boost Espathra do okay. It's got a niche in Reg D. 95 is like a fairly fast speed stat, especially combined with Speed Boost, and its special attack is good. Its bulk is not great. What is it? A bug flying type? Oh, it was not in Sword and Shield. That's why I don't know what it is. What it does. Okay, so it's what? It's a special attacker? Yeah, it's a special attacker. So its moves are Bug Buzz. It's got some coverage here if it keeps all of this. Yanmega might be okay. Here's the thing though, like Ice Shard exists. It's 4 times weak to ice, right? No, it's only 2 times weak to ice. It's 4 times weak to rock. I don't know. Yanmega's a meh. I'm unclear about Yanmega. I don't know, but I don't think it's gonna be good. That's my gut. My gut is not sure. Gligar, I mean, Gligar is 4 times weak to ice. It's the same typing as Landorus. Obviously it serves a different purpose than Landorus because it doesn't have Intimidate and it has, you know, Poison Heal, so you can give it the Toxic Orb, and if it can stay on the field long enough, it will heal itself for a lot every turn. But I just don't think in singles it's good. In doubles, I just don't think it can stay on the field long enough to really make use of that Poison Heal. And it's got the same typing as Landorus, but Landorus is like better because you can pivot it in and out, you can get lots of Intimidates down. Gligar doesn't really have that kind of utility, so I think of the two, Landorus is of course going to remain much more popular. People will probably try to use Gligar, but I don't think it'll be like very popular. Again, it'll be Shiftry, I mean, dark grass type, we've seen a lot of dark grass types. None of them have been like crazy good. I mean, Meowscarada was in like series 1, but it's not anymore. As long as Fluttermane is around, no, Shiftry's too slow. It's a dark type, it's weak to fairy. The only reason Chinpow is good in a Fluttermane meta is because it's fast enough that it can outspeed Fluttermane, right? Shiftry's not. So I just think it's like, no one's gonna pick it over Chinpow. I know it's a different typing, but like as like a dark type physical attacker, no one's gonna pick it over Chinpow. And like we have better grass types like Rillaboom, who supposedly is getting Grassy Glide. Grassy Glide's supposed to be nerfed to 60 base power, but I still think Rillas are gonna run Grassy Glide a lot, so why use Shiftry as your grass type physical attacker? Now, Crawdaunt, okay, I think it could be good. Again, if Rillaboom gets Grassy Glide, it might not be very good, right? I think we'll see a lot of water types go down in usage if Rillaboom does get Grassy Glide back. Again, as a dark type, it's gonna be weak to Fluttermane, but you know, adaptability is a very good ability, especially stacked on top of Terra. So you could like Terra Water, get away from that Fluttermane weakness, and now all of a sudden your water type moves are just doing like huge amounts of damage, right? Crawdaunt isn't like a particularly bulky, yeah, it's not super bulky, but its attack is pretty high and its speed is low. So I think it's like a Trick Room sweeper, especially with adaptability, like it's good. I think it'll do a lot of damage. And having access to Aqua Jet, if it does in fact still have access to Aqua Jet, it could be good, it could be good. I'm not saying it's gonna like replace Urshifu or something, but on Trick Room teams, I think it's definitely worth putting it on the team. Trambeco, no one's gonna use that. Milotic, my baby Milotic. Okay, well, we're definitely gonna be making a Milotic team because I have a shiny Milotic. The very first shiny I ever caught was a Milotic named Radish. So we're gonna make a Milotic team. Again, I don't think overall, if I'm being realistic, it's gonna have like, my lighting has changed. There's like no sun coming through my window. Anyway, I don't think Milotic's gonna have like crazy usage, but I think it actually could be like really good Urshifu counter, maybe even a Mungus counter. So what you could do is you could like give it the competitive ability, obviously. That way you can kind of deter intimidates, pair it with like a physical attacker that you really don't want to get intimidated. And then maybe give it like a Rocky Helmet so you can help to deal with like Urshifu, or even safety goggles if you're worried about a Mungus, or like Terra Grass if you're worried about a Mungus, and just give it, rumor is Scald is coming back. So obviously give it Scald if Scald is coming back. But you could also do like Muddy Water. The longer Milotic can just like sit there on the field and just like shoot off Muddy Waters, get those accuracy drops, that's always a good thing. You could also use Coil, you know, increase defense, increase accuracy, because Muddy Water is not a 100% accuracy move. Or, again, you could do, because there's a lot of physical attackers in the meta right now, you know, we've got Iron Hands, we've got Rillaboom to worry about. Those are things that may make Milotic less of a good choice for teams, but they're both physical attackers. So you could run Coil, increasing your defense, making it easier for Milotic to stay on the field. And Coil also increases your accuracy, so you could do Coil Hypnosis shenanigans. If you increase your accuracy enough, you will always hit your Hypnosis. So you could do like Coil, Hypnosis, Muddy Water, or Scald, whichever is available, and maybe like Ice Beam for coverage. And you're actually like, that could be really solid. So again, I don't think overall Milotic's gonna do fantastic because Water Urshifu is everywhere, dominating as like a water type. Rillaboom and Iron Hands are around, so you gotta worry about those. But you can always Terra Grass to help deal with that. Run Rocky Helmet as well. I think Milotic could have a solid niche, and I definitely wanna make a Milotic team. Mandibuzz is also, I think, gonna do pretty well, probably about as well as, you know, Galarian Moltres and Braviary are right now. It's like a bulky flying type. It's actually the same exact type as Galarian Moltres. But it's a physical attacker instead of a special attacker. And it's got the overcoat ability, which means you don't have to worry about Amoonguss. Like, Mandibuzz is immune to Amoonguss's Rage Powder and Spore, which is fantastic. And if we look at its stats, like, it's not very fast, but it's not meant to be. But it's pretty bulky here, especially physically. And its attack and special attack are low, so this is like a utility support mon. This is not like a damage dealing mon, right? But if its abilities stay the same, if its move pool stays the same, you know, it's got Roost, it's got Tailwind, it's got Foul Play, which doesn't use its attack stat, it uses the target's attack stat, and that's Stab, because it's a dark type. So you could run like Tailwind, Roost, Foul Play, and then like another support move, either Taunt to have like another way to shut down Amoonguss, maybe even Substitute if you're really trying to get your longevity there. You could also run Snarl. That way you can help deal with special attackers in addition to the physical attackers that you can Foul Play. Or you could run like Fake Tears. Like, there's a lot of good support moves that Mandibuzz could run as like the 4th slot, in my opinion. Knockoff's always good, you know, removing your opponent's access to their items can be really crucial sometimes. So there's a lot of cool things that you could do with Mandibuzz. I think it'll do pretty well. I mean, obviously the Prankster Tailwind setters are gonna be more popular always, but I think the bulkier Tailwind setters also have a place in the meta. Trevenant, I mean, Trick Room, Grass type, Sweeper, I think it'll be fine on Trick Room teams, but I don't think it'll be anybody's first choice. I think Trick Room teams are definitely just gonna be mostly Ursaluna as far as Sweepers go. Same thing with Vikavolt. It is an electric bug type, but it has Levitate, so it's immune to ground type moves like Earthquake, so you could even run like a Trick Room setter plus Ursaluna. And then turn 2, after Trick Room set up and Ursaluna like has its burn and it's like ready to do a lot of damage, then you can like swap in Vikavolt, right? It's immune to the Earthquake, have Ursaluna start spamming Earthquakes, and then Vikavolt can hit the flying types that Ursaluna can't hit with Earthquake with its Stab electric type moves. So I think that actually could be some really cool synergy on Trick Room teams. But outside of that, I don't really see Vikavolt having much of a niche. And then for the last one, Cramorant, I don't think anyone's gonna use this. Its whole gimmick is that what, it eats a fish when it uses Dive? Like, I don't think anybody, who the fuck is gonna use Cramorant? It's not good. Look at these stats. It's not good. No, don't use Cramorant, okay? If you're thinking about it, just don't do it. It's not worth it. Don't use Cramorant. Okay. All right, so that's my thoughts on all of the new and returning Pokemon coming in Wave 1 of the DLC next week, and you know, which ones I think will be good in Regulation E. But tell me down in the comments below, which Pokemon are you excited to use in Regulation E? Obviously, I am most excited to use Milotic, but you know, obviously other people are allowed to have other opinions, and I want to hear yours down in the comments below. And as always, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel to see more like it. I'll see y'all later.